welcome to Anime Adventures. I'm Elise Baughman, the voice of Pan from Dragon Ball GT.
And I'm Karan Ashley. I am on Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I was the yellow Power Ranger.
Yes, and this is a show where I bring you interviews from anime conventions and Comic-Cons, and that's where we are right now.
We are.
How are you? I'm so good. I can't wait to do the interview, so stay tuned. My interview with Karan is coming right up.
It's Morphin time.
So great to be here. You've done so many things in addition to Power Rangers, but we've got to start with Power Rangers.
I know, that was the breakout role. No, I came in on Mighty Morphin, which is the original series, and I started in season 2 and 3, and I got to do the movie, which was awesome. We shot that in Sydney, Australia.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, Power Rangers is kind of like the gift that keeps on giving. Our fans are so loyal, and they've been around. We just celebrated 25 years.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, and they still love the show, and they bring all their collectibles, and Comic-Cons are great because we get to meet them. Now they're older, they're not kids, and they can tell, before they would cry, so now we get to meet them, and we actually get to relive the whole experience through their eyes.
Oh, that's great. Have you heard some amazing stories when you talk to people at Comic-Con?
It's so amazing. Like it's crazy, but Power Rangers seem to have influenced like a whole generation of martial artists, or people who become teachers, or people who become scientists, or people who, went into the military, and they became real heroes. So it's crazy, how much it meant to them.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
And I was reading that you beat out about 10,000 kids when you auditioned for the role.
Yeah, it was really crazy because I actually auditioned in Dallas, Texas, and I went to an open call. Like a friend of mine called me and said there was an ad in the paper and you should go. They want a teenager with an attitude, and that was me.
Teenager with an attitude.
I had literally just graduated high school, and I went, and thousands of people. They were doing a nationwide search, and Dallas was one of the cities. And I auditioned, and later that afternoon, like a couple thousand went down to like 100, and they videotaped me for the producers, and I thought, okay, well, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
4 days later, they called me and said, we want to fly you out to LA tomorrow. And
your life changed.
Yeah, because that afternoon we auditioned, and that afternoon we had the part. And they said, tell your parents to FedEx your clothes, and we'll ship your cars, and you're working on Monday. Yeah, we didn't even get to go home.
You were like, what's happening?
We went right into fittings, and right into, it was so fast. And I remember I was supposed to start college the very next month. I was going to go to North Texas. And and I was like, I'm going to go to college for 1 year, and then I'm going to move to LA, and I'm going to become an actress. Like, that was the plan. And I didn't show up for college. I didn't tell anyone, though, because I was like so terrified, because I was like, what if it doesn't work out? What if
I think every actor has that thought.
Until it shows on TV, it's not real, And so I didn't tell anyone, but we literally shot I think it was 20 episodes in a month's time, which
that's crazy.
It was crazy fast, and they shipped us to Australia to start the movie. And so by the time the show came out, I was in Australia. So everyone was calling my mom, and they were like, "Where is she? Where is she?" And she was like, "She kind of booked a gig. She's a Power Ranger." And my friends were like, "She's a Power Ranger." It was the weirdest conversation to have with people. But
that is crazy. And then after all these years, it is. You said earlier when we were talking together, it's like the gift that keeps on giving.
It does.
Not just for you, but for fans as well.
Totally. Well, it's like Dragon Ball Z. That show's been around for years.
Forever.
And they are just tried and true fandoms, and they love it. They know everything about it, more than we'll ever know about our own show. I'm like, I was there, but I have no idea half of the stuff that happened. And it's just I love doing Comic-Cons because you directly connect with the people.
I agree. It's really cool hearing the story.
Yeah.
Well, do you have an experience that maybe you haven't shared before that was really cool for you?
You know what? Every show is so amazing because I'm a fan. I'm one of these kids. I would have fit perfectly if they had Comic-Cons back in when I was in high school. I would have been.
You would have been here. With everyone.
Yeah, I was the girl who tried to play like I was cool, but I was really geeky, and I liked So I come to these shows, and you see Ric Flair, or you see you see all these amazing stars that are like legends, and I'm like, I cannot believe we're in the green room together, and I've had
and we're like lemonade,
and we're like chatting it up, and everybody. You end up meeting everyone, and I've been doing Comic-Cons almost like 11 years now.
Really?
Yeah, so it's like I know, like I have a whole new set of friends that are my Comic-Con family, But it's like every show, there's someone that you're just like, wow, like the stories they tell, and I know we had talked about, I used to do a show similar to yours, and that was the reason. Yeah, it was called Uncensored Talk, and that was the reason I kind of wanted to do it, because those conversations and those stories you hear in the green room, it was like to be a fly on the wall and to hear like the things that happen in their career, and when they know you personally, they, their guard is down and they talk more freely, and it's more of a conversation. So that was kind of why I wanted to do it, just because, I was in a green room with Nichelle Nichols, and she was talking about the time that she was on, Star Trek, and after the first season, she was like, I'm going to go back to the theater. I'm a Broadway girl. This TV thing is cool, but I want to go do Broadway. Like, that's what I do. And Martin Luther King picked up the phone, called her, and said, no, you need to stay on TV because you're not playing a maid, you're not playing, the help, you're playing a captain. And the world needs to see you on TV. It needs to see you do that. And she had like the first interracial on-screen kiss. It was like, but that's like legendary moments. So to hear those kind of stories, I was like, people got to see this. So, because there's a lot of people who can't make it to a Comic-Con.
Yeah, not everybody can.
So I'm so glad you do your show, because you're doing the same thing. We got to get these stories out there.
I know. Well, and I know you haven't had time to do your show, but hopefully you'll be able to pick it up again. But tell us again the name, because that way people can go check out the episode.
It's called Uncensored Talk, and it literally was like a show within a show. So I would go to Comic-Cons and I would interview all these amazing people, a lot of Power Rangers, but a lot of actors and a lot of really cool people, and just kind of get the, be the fly on the wall. The people who couldn't make it to a Comic-Con, it was nice to hear that kind of stuff.
That's so cool. Now, before we move on from Power Rangers, you have a convention coming up.
Yes.
I don't know when this will air, so it may be past, but tell us about it anyway. I would love to hear about your company.
Well, I partnered, me and there's another Yellow Ranger, her name is Nakia Baris. We partnered with Ranger Stop, which is a Power Ranger themed Comic-Con that happens in Orlando, and they're actually going into their 7th year. But we thought, let's not just do Rangers. It's called Ranger Stop and Pop. We changed the name, and so we're doing it in Atlanta, June 21st to the 23rd, and we have pop guests, anime guests, we have Power Rangers, and it's crazy. So Atlanta, it's our first year, but we're literally days away.
So you're probably going crazy, like so much to do, getting ready for it.
Oh, and it's like a whole nother side.
That's what I was going to ask, is because you've been a guest for so long, is it weird being on the other side organizing a con?
Totally. It's totally weird. But luckily, like I said, I've made some great friends, and a lot of my cast members, they were like, absolutely, we'll come. Yeah. And, we're just going to have a fun weekend. And it's all about the fans. It's all about, we've been to Atlanta several times this year just to promote and get the word out. And it's our first year, but I think we're going to have a really fun time.
That sounds awesome.
I know, everyone's like, when are you going to do Uncensored Talk? I'm like, okay, I've got 25 cons that I got to do this year. I've got, now I have a Comic-Con that I'm running, and I'm working on a film project, so it's like, I don't know.
A little busy.
It's hard, right?
On your checklist.
Yeah, and it's like, it's one thing to film it at a show, but it's also another thing to like edit it and do the same. It's like, you got to put that baby together.
That's what I've learned. The editing and the promoting can take a while. But you mentioned film. I heard you throw that in there.
Yes.
What's your film?
My film is called The Order, and I called on my friends, a lot of the people I've been in Comic-Cons, but it's I talked 15 former Power Rangers into doing a film with me. We're not Power Rangers in this movie. We're assassins, we're vigilantes, and it's The Order. Basically, they are a group that shadows the FBI and the CIA, and they restore order in the world. But when you think about that, people who, change the course of history are not necessarily good guys, even though what they're trying to do is for the greater good. Yeah. Sometimes they definitely are in that gray area.
Interesting.
So it'll be...
So this is your project.
It's my project.
And you're acting.
Yeah.
Did you write, or did you...
I did,
You wrote it.
Yeah, I am the showrunner for the show, and it's like... For me, acting was always one layer of what I wanted to do. I've always wanted to be a producer and to create my own content, and so this is one of them.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. Look, you're a little busy.
I'm a little busy. And it's independent, so it's really busy. You do it all. You do it all, and you raise all the funds, and you negotiate all the deals. So it's busy.
Well, gosh, I was gonna ask what you do in your free time, but I mean, if you have free time,
I know. This week I have one day home, and then I head off. Yeah, it's like I have no free time.
That's great.
You're just in your hotel room working after hours.
So after the con, you probably head straight to your hotel to work on other projects.
Yeah. Last night I was working on a contract and talking to my lawyer. It's like you just keep it going.
Yeah, but that's fun. I mean, when you do stuff that you love, it's fun, and it's work, but it doesn't feel like, I'm going to my job.
A friend of mine told me the day you do something you love, you'll never work a day in your life, and that's absolutely true. Yeah, I get tired, or I don't get to hang with my friends as much as I want, but they want to see me succeed, so they understand.
Yeah.
And they know how driven I am to get something going. So.
Well, I can tell you love what you do. Because, gosh, I mean, hopefully it comes through on camera, but your eyes just light up when you talk about it.
I love it. Well, it's like, I think when I was little, the earliest picture I found, I think I was 3, and I'm like with a microphone and I'm singing. And I think it's always been something. I used to tell my mom, I'm going to sing, I'm going to be a dancer, I'm going to act, I'm going to be a model. And I wasn't tall enough to model. But the rest of the stuff I'm doing.
So you kind of knew early on.
Yeah, I knew. That's all I've ever known. All I've ever known.
Okay, because I always like to hear when people knew or decided what they wanted to do.
I always knew that I wanted to do it. I wanted to be on stage some sort of way. And I remember in the 2nd grade, I had my first performance. I was like Michael Jackson. And we danced in the school. I signed autographs after. That's how good I was.
Did you know his moves?
I knew all the moves. I knew everything. And to hear the crowd, and people to go crazy. I had the jacket on, I had the glove. It was nonsense. I've got pictures to prove it.
Oh my gosh, I need those.
Yeah, I'll send them to you. So at that moment,
because I did a Michael Jackson dance in school too.
Right. So at that moment, I just knew. I was like, okay, I like this.
Really?
Yeah.
Everybody knows
it
that
sealed the deal. Yeah. And even my sister's friends, they'll go, oh my gosh, we always knew. Because I used to perform for them, and I know I was that kid. I would shave my hair and I'd create my own clothes. I was that kid. I was totally bizarre.
Well, this has been so much fun. It's crazy at the convention, so we'll wrap it up. Oh, before I forget, we're going to do a giveaway.
Yeah.
She has graciously agreed to autograph some posters, so I'll do a giveaway. All you have to do is be a subscriber. And after about a week or so, I will, there it is.
We'll do that one, and then maybe we could do a movie one. This is all the cast.
Oh, I love that. Okay.
Yeah, we'll do a few of these.
Yeah, we'll do a few. So just subscribe. It's as easy as that. I'll do a random drawing, and then I will figure out a way to contact you, and you can win an autographed poster.
Yay!
So thank you so
You're
much.
so welcome.
Awesome.
High five.
I love it.
It's morphin' time, people.
Yeah, what she said, people. Bye. Hey, thanks for joining us for this episode of Anime Adventures. That was a fun interview. I'd love for you to subscribe. Click the bell so you'll be notified of future interviews. Click here if you'd like to see more interviews like this one.